Check out my pecs, little man!
Hello everyone, I hope you're all having the most wonderful of days. I am so excited because it is sequel time, baby. That's right, the follow-up to the madness that is Scooby Doo the movie. Now we're here to take a look at the even wackier Scooby Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. If you thought the nostalgia of the first one was crazy, just you wait. I literally had anime level flashback montages to my childhood watching this. And maybe part of that is the amount of memes I've seen from this movie. I'd like to account a lot of it to the absurd time I've spent rewatching this movie in my youth. It low-key made me sad thinking about the fact that they only made 2 movies with this cast and crew. Screw the reception and criticism, this deserved the effort and fan dedication on par with the MCU. I'm talking 30 plus movies, including a big team-up movie where the gang fights, I don't know, God? Also, while we're at it, why don't we just give Matthew Lillard an Oscar? This dude put on the performance of his life, and his leading co-star was a horrendous CGI dog. Honestly though, I understand why some of the cast didn't come back, because from what I've seen online, Warner Bros. Wasn't trying to pay him.
I remember them calling my agent back and saying, well, we want to give the rest of the cast a raise, and we'd like Freddie to take a pay cut.
Wow.
And I was like, wait, so I'm giving them a raise?
So getting into it now, when we looked at the first one, I mentioned that one of the funniest aspects of the movie was the incredibly awful CGI monstrosities they made. Scrappy and Scooby's final battle was something to behold. But what if I told you that was only the tip of the iceberg? That's right, of course the only way to follow up the CGI mess of the original was to make the sequel with even more CGI monstrosities. The writer said, you know what guys, actually, why don't we make a whole movie based around these monsters? And that's what they did, because you can't have monsters being unleashed without a heavy heart attack worthy sprinkle of that salty good CGI. The interesting thing is, some of the monsters are almost completely practical. And yeah, a little goofy, but they don't look half bad. But then somewhere along the way, they decided to make this goddamn thing. Tar Monster apparently is his name. I know, very creative. Anyone who heavily critiques bad modern CGI seriously needs to reevaluate. You may say, but it came out nearly 20 years ago. The CGI just wasn't that good. They didn't have as big of a budget compared to now. It's a kids movie. You'd be right in all of that. But you also must have never seen the big finale of this movie. Because when you want to talk about writing a big finale to the franchise that tops everything leading up to it, they did. They made the most god-awful CGI monstrosity of them all. Moving on to the characters, which in reality are the most important aspect of the film, I can safely say they are actually better written. They somehow managed to improve on the characters that needed it and keep the best aspects of them from the first one. We even get a few new characters in the mix. Honestly too, there's a lot of heartwarming character moments in this film, and a lot of the arcs involve overcoming self-deprecating thoughts. Who would have thought Scooby Doo has decent character writing? Starting with Velma, she was bad in the first one, but goddamn, the writers must have been mad horny for this second one too, because Velma is tuned to an 11.
Who's your mommy?
It ends up being cute and funny, although it turns a little weird later. Basically, Velma is interested in a dude who is like totally super hot, but struggles with her self-image and doesn't give herself time to enjoy these pleasures in life because she's too busy solving mysteries.
Well, that was my outfit, I swear.
Something I didn't remember though is the fact that Seth Green is playing the dude Velma is crushing on. Not only that, but he's really odd in this film. They're trying to make him a prime suspect, but spoiler alert, he's not the villain. So looking back, he does a lot of weird stuff for no reason. He also really creeps out Velma at some points. I guess he's got that suspect riz, cause he pulls in the end.
What are you talking about?
No way, Jose.
Velma.
Now Daphne, I was hyped about. She's pretty much the same character, and she's the only one who doesn't have an arc besides telling Fred to get over himself. She's just the same kung fu karate master who kicks ass, and I am all here for it.
Please, the current position of the sun. Oh, scary! Taste the pain, Mr. Glowy Ugly Thing.
Fred, however, might be the biggest character turnaround. The first one, he was learning to get over being a clout chaser and letting his friends have some of the spotlight. In this one, well, he's still kind of a clout chaser. But he's a dumb clout chaser who unintentionally cancels himself every chance he gets.
Little old Coolsville can solve its problems without us.
I didn't say that.
And more importantly, his arc is just him getting over his peaked in high school alpha Chad toxic masculinity.
On the outside, looking in.
Do you want to talk?
Talking's for wimps.
By the way, the people who are continually trying to cancel Fred are the news. My god, the lead reporter Heather, and really the whole station for that matter, are vile. They are blatantly taking the most egregious out of context clips and somehow spinning everything on the gang.
The higher the pedestal, the harder the fall, and Mystery Inc. fell far.
Like somehow, they managed to make the Mystery Gang the most hated people in Coolsville for getting robbed and assaulted by a pterodactyl.
Seen here causing untold damage to Coolsville's hottest new tourist attraction, which took a full 2 years to complete.
Lastly is Shaggy and Scoob, who are on their sad boy stoner vibes here. They constantly are getting their vibe killed by the gang and told they ain't really worth anything to the team. So Shag and Scoob are determined to become the world's greatest detectives.
Right! Like it's time to solve the mystery!
Honestly, a wholesome arc seeing them try their best so they can finally get recognition for everyone that they are actually part of the team.
I'm sorry, Daph, but your go-go boots didn't fit me.
In the end, all the characters have a wholesome ending. Velma and Patrick get together, Shaggy and Scoob save the day and get acknowledged. Hell, Scooby Doo even has an MCU one-liner.
Who do you think you are?
Scooby? Dooby? Doo!
Daphne still kicks ass because of course she does, and Fred overcomes toxic masculinity in my favorite scene of all time. But wait, I haven't mentioned the ridiculous villain plot yet. Out of all the goofy things in this movie, this might be the creme de la creme. We are shown the original dude who made the pterodactyl and somehow managed to figure out the magic potion to creating life. Only thing is, he died some odd years ago trying to escape the prison, so the gang is trying to figure out who is using this dude's work to bring these monsters to life and tear down the gang. The top suspects are Patrick, because he's on some weirdo activities.
We could stay here and do this all night, and something tells me you would. But we gotta make like your personality and split.
And Old Man Wickles, because he's grumpy, and I guess he was also the cellmate to the dude who made the potions in the first place.
I'm not normally one for giving advice, but I feel sorry for you because of your brother's huge, hideous nose deformity.
Well, to make long story short, it was neither of them, because it was actually Heather, the news reporter. Yup, the most toxic person in the movie is the villain. But actually, it's not her, because they reveal that Heather is a mask as well, and the real villain of the movie is the dude who originally made all the stuff and was presumed dead. Yeah, somehow he survived all those years ago But the wackiest part is, this dude impersonated being a woman for over a year, just so he could become the head news reporter for Coolsville, make all these monsters come to life, spin the narrative on the gang, and ruin them for good. All of this because he wanted his petty revenge on them.
You were a dude this whole time?
Of course, Dummkopf.
But we cuddled.
Somehow, they managed to top Scrappy's petty revenge plot from the first, and really with everything in this movie, just made it better. 10 out of 10 masterpiece, deserves 20 more sequels. Hope you enjoyed this one, it was so much fun. I really... Oh boy, here we go again.